or I'm getting word that we are indeed tired of hearing about my kitchen status and also my snack status. And in fact, we are ready to move on to our next run of Dust and Elysian Tale with Phlap. Take it away, Phlap.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to late night or early morning, daytime, whatever fastest first. I am Phlap. This is Dust. I am joined by my lovely couch, Sin.
Hello. Yeah, we're gonna be yapping about Dust and Elysian Tail warps, any percent warps category. This is a very neat little run. It's gonna show off just how broken this game actually is.
Yeah, originally the game came out on 360, then got ported to PC. That port brought a load of wonderful things with it, namely warping. We can get into that later. So, I'm gonna load a funny little save here, just to prep the run. Normally the game starts out with a funny little cutscene where you just like have to beat up a bunch of guys. It doesn't really mean anything. So like as a community, we just have a funny save. So whoever wants to count me in.
Sin, would you like to do that?
Yeah, I can count you in with the classic. Are you ready, Pilk?
I am ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, Vidya. Alright, so at the beginning of this run, we are going to ignore this movement because it makes me sad. And instead, we're going to talk about this. This is what is known as a panorama cutscene. As you can see, they are rather pretty, but very slow, kind of defeating the purpose of this whole speedrunning bit. This is going to be one of two that we are forced to sit through, the other one at the beginning of Chapter 1. All others we will dismiss through various exploits and glitches. However, before getting to that, again, we need to focus on this whole movement thing that's making me upset. My eyes, they hurt. Make it stop. There we go. So yeah, luckily this game is nice enough to give us one of the two most important movement abilities that we will be using throughout this run, known as the dash ability, allowing us to perform the technique known as the ground dodge cancel. As you can see, Phlap is going to be slashing into the ground and then canceling that animation into the dodge, rinse and repeat, and it allows Dust to kind of just cartwheel all over the floor so much faster than that earlier movement. And it's actually going to put us quickly into this next room if we do not get red barriered into the most important trick that we have to get in the run.
No, okay, no. We get to lose a minute and a half here. Unskippable cutscene.
Yeah, so what we were trying to perform right there is known as the Dust Storm cutscene skip. Essentially, it is a frame-perfect trick in which Phlap is trying to click at the outside bounds of the game while also bringing Dust into that ability. If we do it, again, frame perfectly, it will bring up a menu that has the skip option, which is not allotted to us, as you can see by us trying to pause and get past this cutscene. But I guess it allows us to see these characters and watch them kind of yap on a bit about this newfound magical power Dust has.
Yeah, the benefit of that is I no longer have to equip Fidget manually. Oh my god, this game is being incredibly rude right now. Okay.
That's Dust for you, but now that we are outside of that cutscene, we can get into the rest of this. With this prologue chapter, it's going to be quite a lot of information that I have to go through, so bear with me if I speak a little too fast. But essentially, we are on a big resource hunt. Within the next chapter, Chapter 1, we are going to be taking the resources that we have here in order to buy the most important items that we will be using throughout this run, known as the teleport stones. The resources that we will be collecting throughout this prologue chapter are 3 chicken, 5 keys, 4 of which we'll be selling, and at least 15 gold. Again, all of that we will be using within chapter 1. But for the rest of this prologue, it is just hopefully not getting red barriered anymore and collecting another one of our movement abilities, I believe within this next screen or the screen after, known as the aerial dust storm.
Oh my god. These guys like to jump into the Z-axis and be invulnerable for a million years.
We're gonna call it late night speedrun sadness.
No, this is just the Glade being horrible. That's me messing up the tech you're about to explain.
Yeah, so now that we have acquired the aerial dust storm, it allows us to perform the technique, the ADC, or aerial dodge cancel. Essentially what we were doing on the ground, but in the air. Dust is going to be doing a lot of cartwheels and flips throughout this run, as you will see. Right here, we're going to take this bomb to blow up this wall up here on this ledge. All of the walls that have this yellow glow to them have to have a bomb explode them. Dust is sadly not strong enough to get through them by his own means. That little save load right there is mainly to help with a future cutscene that actually just kind of doesn't function properly. The explanation has been given to me multiple times, but essentially it will allow us to skip this cutscene, which we're not actually able to do, at least quickly in normal gameplay.
That cutscene is skippable, and it's supposed to be skippable like every other cutscene, but if you don't take damage or load the game before that cutscene, you just have to watch Dust try and climb some vines for like a minute. It's not a minute, but it feels like in the speedrun that it is 20 minutes.
Yep, but realistically...
Bad. I think I have too much XP.
Yeah, you may have routed it a little bit much, but this is the final screen of this prologue chapter where we are going to be performing the RDC to essentially get over a big
RDS.
boss trigger, or RDS, my bad, to get over a big boss trigger that's right here and into the first chapter, the first actual chapter of the game.
All right, with that 20-minute glade out of the route or out of the way, we can end the run now.
I hope you can all tell
yeah,
that it is 3:30 a.m. over here.
Oh well.
Do y'all mind if I read a quick donation?
Go for
absolutely.
it.
We have a $25 donation from Maddie Ferris 29. Thank you, Maddie Ferris, towards reading Squeak Magazine and Small Saga. Maddie says, thank you all so much for having us over in Fastest First this year to showcase Mario Golf Advanced Tour once again. I wouldn't dare miss it for the world. Now, if you will excuse me, I need to sleep away all those golf puns. I'm in for a rough night. And with that, it's okay. It was a little intense. And with that, we have met the incentive to read Squeak Magazine. Woohoo! Good job, everyone. I am excited to see what kind of spooky stuff, excuse me, not spooky, salacious stuff is going on in there. We are $200 away from the next incentive for Small Saga for using the Lego block. And up next with our sweet home run, we have a character name bid war going on. And all the options are kind of low right now, $5 or under. Now is your chance to put yourself and 4 of your closest friends, or maybe dreamy celebrities, maybe you want Mariah Carey in there, to play Sweet Home through a very glitchy horror game experience.
Alright, we are good on XP. If that mouse didn't level me up, we're fine. And he didn't.
Yeah, we are now officially, realistically, towards the tail end of this chapter 1. As we were doing back there in the village, essentially, again, we were selling a good amount of the resources that we had collected. Again, all of our chickens and at least 4 of our keys we sold to get enough money in order to buy 8 of the 9 required teleport stones, and that last one, we did, some activities to kind of get it for a discounted price.
We bought it on store credit.
We'll call it store credit, some might call it thievery, Dust might be the protagonist, but that doesn't always mean hero. But within that previous room right there, we were performing what is known as EFS, or Early Flesh Sheath. Essentially at the top of that room was a mid-game item known as the Flesh Sheath that buffed our attack from the pitiful 4 that it's been this entire time to 154. So now we are going to dispatch of enemies and later bosses so much quicker. As you saw going into that chapter 2 screen, before we actually went there, we decided to defeat that one enemy that I just don't like in particular. And that is due to the fact that he is hiding the level up that we need to break past that panorama cutscene. So with his defeat, we are able to proceed without having to deal with another slow but pretty little look at the area that we're currently in.
So I made the statement earlier about having too much XP, because if you level up before you kill that guy, you don't get bounced back into the game, or bounced back into the previous room.
Also, take a good look at this room, Denim Village, because we're going to be seeing it a fair bit throughout this run. It's our favorite little exit warping zone.
This sucks. Oh, I have to save, though.
But
that was very unfortunate. My mouse was on top of the map coordinate to warp to, so it just took me there instantly. Let's just not click there again. That has happened that has happened like 3 times in my life. All of the funny things are happening.
Yeah, within this chapter 2, not too much is actually going to happen in terms of gameplay. It really starts to pick up in chapter 3, but essentially we are here to get that ability that you just saw right there, the slide ability. It's not super useful, again, yet. Chapter 3 is where the gameplay is at, I promise. But you will be seeing a bunch of warping. As you can see, Phlap is moving his mouse over specific areas on the map where rooms are loaded in, that way we can warp into them. However, his positioning matters a lot, because if we position Dust any kind of way wrong, we may just end up in the floor of the void. But enough about that. This is a boss. This is Lady Tethys, and as you can see, she is such a boss. She's the greatest. And she's done! What a wonderful show from Lady Tethys. Essentially what he was doing right there on that middle top platform is using a technique known as zigzagging. By canceling a ground slash to the left and right, you can just kind of shred through boss health really quickly. He did have to take that brief pause in the middle of that action in order to make sure that the game does not remember that Lady Tethys needs to fight back. If we were to just continue trying to do it, she would eventually just break out. But now we are about to enter a section with a fair bit of cutscene time, so if there is anything that host would like to talk about in terms of donations or future incentives or anything like that, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I would love to have a moment to talk about our upcoming incentives. Dust and Elysian Tale is a bit on the shorter end because we're moving so incredibly fast. Let's look at our future incentives. Coming up next, we have Sweet Home character name Bid Wars. For just $2 for some of these characters, you can put in the name of yourself or your favorite character. Do you want Chris from Undertale wow, bad gamer award. Do you want Chris from Deltarune, or maybe you want Sans from Super Smash Bros. To play the game? Go ahead, put in !donate in chat. Make sure you attach that to that incentive. For Small Saga, we have our Use the Lego Brick incentive coming up, and that will be in a couple hours after Sniper Elite 4 and Corn Kids 64? We have games coming up that I've never even realized were games before. I'm so excited. What's going on in the world of Dust and Elysian Tale?
Funny chapter buffer skip if this man goes away from the wall.
Yeah, so we are now done. Past all those cutscenes, we are now finished up with Chapter 2, and we will be entering Chapter 3. Again, this is where the gameplay happens. Get excited, because all of our teleport stones are about to go to use right here. Essentially, the goal of Chapter 3 is that we will be traversing between 4 different manors to collect 4 different key items that will unlock the final boss of this area, known as Cain. The first 3 manors are going to be pretty simple, cut and dry, just warp to the end of it, essentially, get the key item, and then make our escape. However, the 4th one is going to come with a bit of setup, as well as a very fun area filled with enemies within the manor on our escape route. But we will get to that shortly. For now, let's just get out of this first manor, and we are going to go ahead and warp into the second one. If our positioning is correct, we will not be... Alright, good. We have our key item, and now we are again going to make our daring escape. That spooky music that you heard there was just Cain kind of showing off a bit before we actually get to see him.
Yeah, we don't actually see him during these segments, but he is here. I think he just starts at the entrance of the room, and we just warp to the end of it, so he's really far behind.
Can't handle the power of these warps. They're just too powerful.
I am just admiring the scenery in this game. This game is really beautiful for something that came out in, was it 2013?
2012. 2013 was the Steam release.
And I remember hearing this was like was it a one-person project?
Basically.
Wow.
And supposedly, there's a future project somewhere by Dean.
Dean is currently working on something.
Something.
And it will come out soon, TM? There we go.
Yeah, soon, TM. I'm working on a game, TM, and it's coming out soon, TM. You'll figure it out when I post it.
You did it! This is the second time in my life I've had this happen. The first time was 20 minutes ago when I was practicing this. Oh, it was being incredibly cruel to me tonight.
It's fine. We're gonna get through this last manor right here before you get to the real fun. Aren't you ready for Manor 4?
Manor 4! Give it up for Manor 4!
So with Manor 4...
Remember to blow up the walls.
Yeah, speaking of which, with Manor 4, essentially we need to unblock the passageway that will lead us to our escape route, or that will be the end of our
Here
escape
we
route,
go.
essentially. There is a wall that you have to blow up, again, one of those yellow glowy walls that
Wow.
require a
I've never
bomb.
been there before either.
Yeah, that
So
guy
many
was just...
weird things are happening. I don't like it. Oh no, this is bad.
Hopefully we
Don't
get the
blow up,
bomb
please.
down
You
here.
got it.
Alright,
Yeah,
we
so
got
I
it.
need to get that bomb down here because that's one of those special walls I mentioned earlier, and it can very easily blow up on any of those wasps or the hive right there, but we got it in one go.
Now we get in, we're gonna do a bunch of cartwheeling between rooms, and then it's gonna be our time to skedaddle, only if the enemies in this very specific room are not rude. Hopefully they are not. As it's happened multiple times, whenever enemies get too close to the edge of the screen when you're trying to leave, it brings up a big red barrier that says you can't leave.
Oh, I just walked through it. Perfect.
Or I guess we can just say no thanks. I'm going anyway.
Oh, yeah, that is the problem child of Chapter 3. That's not true, Kane is. That's the problem room of Chapter 3.
I think this chapter is the problem child of the run.
No, the Glade is the problem child for sure. You have to get through without taking any damage, because otherwise... So, we play on casual because, speed, you have unlimited stamina. Things die quicker, you do more damage, etc. But also, there are a couple of quirks to it. You always will auto-fire your skill, or your attack, meaning when you just hold down the button and you will just rapidly attack. And healing items will automatically be used if you are below 100% health, and we need those chickens at the beginning, and if we take damage, you eat the chicken. Alright, but here's Kane.
Yeah, here is the final boss of the area, Kane. We're gonna do him just like we did Lady Tempest. However, as you see here, Phlap is gonna be pausing in between these little swipes from Kane. Essentially, whenever we pause the game and we are still in a neutral position, the game just kind of forgets that Dust is an active participant in this battle and makes us invulnerable until we do another input. It's pretty cool when it works. But we are going to be shredding Kane's health down to a certain point before switching over to normal difficulty due to the fact that this boss actually gives us levels and XP here. We're going to be gaining 5 levels off of this, and on casual, whenever you level up, it slots in a skill gem down the list of skills that Dust has in his stats spread. However, we don't want that. We want to keep these skill gems that we're about to get for the final part of this run. So once the boss is defeated and we level up 5 times, we are going to go ahead and switch back over to casual so that we have our infinite stamina again. And that and the immortality thing, that's like secondary. I like
almost gave up
cartwheeling.
there, unfortunately. You can't die on casual. You take lethal damage, you just get back up.
And now we're in
my
chapter
kind of
4.
game.
Yeah, now it's time for chapter 4. I know the estimate is like 20-something minutes, but we lied. This chapter's kind of long because we got to climb a mountain and get a bunch of stuff, and that's just kind of hard. We can't fit that in 21 minutes.
All right,
But you'll see it in the VOD.
Yeah, there's a kind
It
of
was
a bleak you miss
somewhere.
it.
Yeah, it was somewhere between that loading screen. I'm sure you'll find all the wacky hijinks we got up to. But we are at the final part of Chapter 4. We're just going to go in here and watch a little cutscene. So again, if there's anything you would like to discuss, go ahead.
Where'd the mountain go?
You blinked. It's in the VOD. Again, you got to watch the VOD.
There we go. That was in the VOD. That was in the VOD. All right, we got a $10 donation from Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous, towards using the Lego brick in Small Saga. Then it says, no comment. Thank you, Anonymous.
All right, here's this man. We've seen this man 2 times now. I promise he's not important until just a minute later on from this part. But first, we're going to bully this bunny by pushing him into the wall.
We're taking him to a nice hot spring in a volcano.
Oh,
It's like hot spring, sounds great. Volcano, oh no.
I mean, how else are you gonna get the volcanic waters? No,
maybe
there,
not
that is
with not with the bunny sacrifice.
No, we just escorted him there. It's fine.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so funny thing about this game, when you talk to an NPC for the first time, they give you some XP. He gives us just enough to hit level 8.
This will be the final level cap as we enter this final boss area in the final area of the game. By the way, this is my formal warning to tech. The end of this run will be coming up very soon, and it kind of happens abruptly. but I will, of course, call it out once it is time.
Gaius.
But this is General Gaius, the final boss of the game in his final phase, and he is a menace. As you can see, he is a lot more active and mobile compared to the other bosses that we just kind of had to sit on the ground and shred a bunch.
Okay.
This boss actually requires us doing this particular aerial combo where we slam him into the ground to reset him in a favorable position. That way we can just keep doing it. But sometimes he cheats, like that.
Oh, we just did twice in a row.
Yeah, those Gaius parries, the ones that we maybe have put a poll on, they happen whenever they want. I have been told the number is like 1 in 47 or 1 in 48, but I just think it's whenever Dean is watching a speedrun and goes, yeah, this would be funny.
It is very accurate. Yeah, so we need to hit him like 80 or 90 times. The odds, I believe, is like 1 in 48 when you're in the air, which is all we're doing, is hitting him in the air. But as you can see, he's already parried me like 4 times. Hey, he's dead now, though, so I'm just gonna hold this button until he explodes. Alright, yeah, so we're gonna go into a crawling segment. After we get all the way over to the right, that's when time happens. But since this is warped, we can also skip the crawling segment. That's why he was saying time comes up very quickly. Back in Chapter 1, we made a save on the map screen. That save has some funny properties, including skipping this bit. So load it once, notice purple, load it again.
No more purple.
RDS a little bit, don't hit Gaius, because he can parry you there and send you back down to the
That's
crawling
time.
Oh yeah, that is time. Alright. That was a run of all time.
That certainly was a run of all time. That Glade was so rude. Oh my goodness.
At least I can say EFS went well, and Gaius definitely could have gone worse.
I want. How many parries did we get? God, Gaius.
He's such a bully. But yeah, that is it for Dust.
Oh, it's so tragic.
Look at him. He's just as sleepy as me.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a tired boy.
No, Fidget, don't wake me up. I'm sleepy. Let me go eepy.
Go, Fidget, I'm sleepy.
It's so warm here. It's like a big blanket. Let me sleep.
He wants to enjoy the hot springs with Gian.
But yeah, again, that was Dust Elysian Tale, 80% warps. Hopefully that was a very interesting run, if anything, because there were many funny moments that don't normally happen during practice.
I've done this game a lot, and it's just the funny thing. You just experience things you've never experienced before. Alright.
Goodbye, Fidget.
Goodbye, Fidget. Hi, Ginger. Goodbye, Ginger.
Hi, Dust. Goodbye, Dust.
Oh, and then he's consumed by lava?
Again, he's
Yeah.
sleepy. It's a
very
big
easy.
blanket.
Pretty cozy, I guess.
A very warm blanket. It's like when you just did your laundry and you just pull your...
Big comforter over you.
Exactly. Articulating my words in my head is becoming increasingly difficult.
It's also nearly 4 a.m.
But before you lose the capability to word entirely, would you like to give some shout-outs?
Shoutouts to the Dust community. You guys are all really cool. Shout out to Tack. You're an absolute nerd and legend at this. Thank you for all your help. Shoutouts to Sin for not knowing anything about this game. Well, no, not necessarily that, but not knowing anything about the run or running himself, but putting in the effort to actually learn some things so he can do some commentary for me.
Shoutouts to me again, because I didn't go to sleep during the run. Let's go! Let's go, me!
Let's go!
You did it. The shoutouts for Fastest Fruits for having me on again. Thank you guys.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on commentary as well.
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh,
for
it is
coming.
Dust. He's now Dust.
Oh, full circle.
It all makes sense in the end.
Aw, from dust to dust.
Ashes to ashes.
Dust
We'll be
to
back,
dust,
Crystal. We got
Elysian
there.
Tale. Well, thank you, Phlap and Sin, so much for joining us for Dust and Elysian Tale, and we hope to have y'all again.
Thank you. Happy to be back at
Thanks.
any time.